Welcome to the explainer. All right, so you've done it. You've poured hours and hours into building an awesome application. It works like a dream on your own computer. But now what? How do you actually get it online so the whole world can see it? Well, that's exactly what we're going to tackle today. We're going to break down the entire process of deployment, from your very first little project all the way up to a huge enterprise-level app. This is the question, right? Every single developer gets to this point. You've built your thing, you've squashed the bugs, it's perfect, locally. But then you look at all the options for going live, and man, it can feel super overwhelming. But don't you worry, we're gonna cut right through that confusion and lay out a really clear, step-by-step roadmap. All right, first up, deploying your first website. Let's start with the basics. Picture this. You've just built a simple front-end only application. Maybe you used something like React. There's no backend, no database, just a nice, clean user interface. So we need to get this idea of a static application down cold. It's actually pretty simple. When you build your app, say with React, the build process spits out a little folder, usually called dist or build, and inside are just plain old HTML, CSS, and JavaScript files. And we call it static because every single person who visits your site gets the exact same set of files. That's it. Our whole job is just to put that folder somewhere the internet can find it. So for a static site like this, you've basically got two main routes you can take. The easy way and, well, the pro way. The easy way is to use something called a platform as a service, or PaaS for short. The all-inclusive resort analogy is perfect here. Seriously, they handle everything for you. The servers, the security, the whole shebang. It's amazing for getting up and running fast. But yeah, that convenience, it can get a little pricey. And this is where it gets really, really cool. The magic here is the automation. A service like Vercel, for example, hooks right into your GitHub. The moment you push new code, boom, it automatically builds and deploys your site. It even throws in a free SSL certificate. That's the little padlock that keeps your site secure. And it puts your site on a global CDN, a content delivery network, so it's super fast for everyone, no matter where they are in the world. You can literally go from code to live in minutes. It's kind of nuts. Okay, so what about the pro way? This is what's usually recommended for production sites. It uses two key things, an object store and a CDN. Think of the object store like a super simple, cheap hard drive in the cloud. Its only job is to hold your files. Then the CDN, the content delivery network, is like a chain of warehouses all over the world. It takes a copy of your website and puts it in every warehouse. So when someone in, say, Tokyo visits your site, they get it from the Tokyo warehouse, not one in New York. The result? It's blazingly fast. So check out this table. It lays it all out perfectly. You can see the trade-offs, right? Vercel is super easy, but it'll cost you. A virtual machine is an option, but honestly, it's kind of overkill and doesn't scale well for just static files. But look at that last one, CDN plus an object store. It's cheap, it's crazy scalable, and not that complex. And that right there is why it's the gold standard for production static sites. All right, section 2. When your app gets complex. Okay, things are about to get more interesting. Your little static site has grown up. It's not just a brochure anymore. Now it has user logins, it needs to save data to a database. You know, it needs a backend to do all the heavy lifting. So here's the big question. Can you still use that super fast CDN we just talked about? The answer, and this is really important, is a hard no. Not for the dynamic parts anyway. A CDN works because it saves or caches one copy of your site for everybody. But now every user needs to see their own stuff. You can't cache my profile page and show it to you. That would be a disaster. So this changes everything. Our whole deployment strategy has to evolve. Yeah, so for these full stack apps, you need some real computing power on the back end. Every time a user does something, the request has to hit a server to get processed. And there are two main ways we get that server power. The first is serverless, which is awesome when your traffic is all over the place. And the second is virtual machines, or VMs, which is all about having total control. We're going to start by digging into VMs. So what is a virtual machine? I love this analogy. It's like getting your own private, empty plot of land in the cloud. A provider like AWS just hands you a blank slate, a totally empty server, and you can build whatever you want on it. That's the amazing part, the total flexibility. But you're also the one who has to lay the foundation, build the house, and mow the lawn. You have to install the operating system, Node.js, your web server, literally everything from scratch. Now, it might sound a little scary, but if you just break it down into these 5 steps, it's totally manageable. You get your VM, you install your stuff, you copy your code over, you run it, and then you set up your domain name. The key is to be methodical. A couple of classic mistakes people make: forgetting to open up the firewall to let people actually visit the site, or, and this is a big one, accidentally running the app in dev mode instead of production mode. So just watch out for those. Okay, take a look at this. You can see a pattern here, can't you? The more complex your app gets, the more complex the deployment solution needs to be. Vercel is still great for moving fast. Serverless is a game changer if you have spiky, unpredictable traffic. VMs are good when your traffic is pretty steady. But you can see that last one there, Kubernetes. That's for when you hit the big leagues. It's all about picking the right tool for your specific situation.
Okay, next section, the power of containers. Let's talk about a problem that every single growing dev team runs into. It's a classic. A developer ships a new feature, everything breaks, and when you ask them what happened, you hear those 5 words that make every manager's blood run cold. But it works on my machine.
This is the problem that Docker was born to solve. The best way to think about it is like a magic shipping container for your application. It doesn't just hold your code, it packs up everything your code needs to run. The right version of Node.js, all the system libraries, you name it, it all goes into one standardized box. And that box, that container, will run identically everywhere.
And the benefits here are just huge. First, obviously, portability and consistency. It just works everywhere, which kills that works on my machine bug forever. It's also great for security because your app is completely isolated, and it's super efficient. So if there's one big takeaway here, it's this: putting your app in the container makes your entire process, from development to deployment, just way, way more reliable.
All right, on to our final section, orchestrating at enterprise scale. So let's imagine the dream scenario. Your app has exploded. It's a huge success. You've got millions of users. Now you're not dealing with one little Docker container anymore. You have hundreds, maybe even thousands of them running. So how on earth do you manage all that? The answer has a name: Kubernetes. And if Docker gives us the shipping containers, then Kubernetes, well, Kubernetes is the giant automated crane system that runs the entire port. It's what's known as an orchestrator. It tells all your containers where to go, what to do, and when to do it. It automates the whole crazy dance of managing applications at a truly massive scale. And just look at what it can do. These features are why it's the king. Self-healing? I mean, come on. If one of your app containers crashes, Kubernetes doesn't even page you. It just kills it and spins up a fresh one instantly. Automatic scaling means if you get a huge traffic spike, it just adds more containers. And maybe the most amazing one: zero downtime updates. You can roll out a new version of your website without a single user ever seeing an error page. This is the stuff that lets huge companies sleep at night. All right, section 5. Time to put it all together. Wow, we have covered a lot of ground, haven't we? We went from a simple little static website all the way up to a massive Kubernetes cluster. So now, let's distill all of that down into a simple, practical guide you can actually use. Think of this as your cheat sheet. It's a super simple decision tree. The next time you start a project, just ask yourself these questions. 1. Is my app static? If it is, boom, go with a CDN and object store for production. 2. Am I just prototyping? Okay, then a PaaS like Vercel is going to be your fastest option. 3. Does it have a backend? Then you're choosing between serverless or VMs. 4. Is team consistency a big deal? Then it's time to containerize with Docker. And finally, 5. Am I managing a ton of containers? Yep, that's your cue to look at Kubernetes. See? It walks you right to the right answer. And this really is the key thing to remember. Anyone who tells you there's one best way to deploy is, well, they're wrong. It always depends. It depends on your app, your traffic, your budget, your team, everything. The goal isn't to memorize one method. The goal is to understand the pros and cons, the trade-offs, so that you can make the smart choice for your project. So there you have it. You now have the complete playbook, that big, scary journey from the code on your laptop to a live website that anyone in the world can visit. It's not a mystery anymore. You know the paths, you know the trade-offs. The only question is, which one are you going to choose for your next big thing?